Han Wu stared at the official document in his hands. The words seemed to blur together as he read them for the third time. Marriage, alien, diplomatic duty. The paper shook slightly in his grip. Sir, this has to be some kind of mistake, Wu said to General Kim Tae, who sat behind his massive desk looking uncomfortable. The general's office felt smaller than usual, filled with tension and the weight of an impossible decision. General Kim rubbed his forehead. I wish it was, Lieutenant Commander, but the Valerian delegation specifically requested you. They've been studying our personnel files for weeks. Outside the window, Wu could see the alien ships floating above Earth's capital city. 3 massive vessels that looked like silver teardrops hung motionless in the sky. They had arrived months ago, bringing the first contact between humanity and an alien civilization. The whole world had celebrated. Now Wu wondered if celebration had been premature. Why me? Wu asked. I'm just a tactical analyst. There are officers with better diplomatic records. That's exactly why they want you, Kim said. He pulled out another file. Your psychological profile shows high adaptability, cultural sensitivity, and problem-solving skills. Plus, your work on the Titan Defense Project impressed them somehow. Wu felt sick. The Titan Defense Project was supposed to be classified. How did the aliens know about it? Sir, I barely speak basic galactic standard. How am I supposed to marry someone I can't even talk to properly? The bride speaks our language fluently, Kim said. Look, Wu, I know this is hard, but this marriage alliance is the key to the peace treaty. Without it, we might be looking at war instead of cooperation. The general stood up and walked to the window. The alien ships cast long shadows over the city below. Earth needs allies, son. We just discovered we're not alone in the universe, and apparently it's a dangerous place out there. The Valerians are offering protection, technology, trade agreements. All they want in return is this symbolic union. Wu wanted to argue more, but he knew his duty. He had sworn an oath to protect Earth and its people. If his personal sacrifice could secure humanity's future, then he had no choice. When is the ceremony? He asked quietly. Tomorrow evening. The whole thing will be broadcast to both worlds. The next day passed in a blur of preparations. Wu was fitted for a strange hybrid uniform that mixed human military dress with Valerian ceremonial elements. The alien fabric felt odd against his skin, almost alive somehow. In the late afternoon, he was brought to a private meeting room to meet his bride for the first time. The door slid open with a soft hiss, and Wu stepped inside. She was beautiful, in a way that made his breath catch. Her skin had a silver tone that seemed to glow softly in the light. Her hair was pure white and moved like liquid mercury. Her eyes were the most striking feature, a deep blue that seemed to hold flecks of starlight. Hello, she said in perfect English, though her voice had a musical quality that no human voice possessed. I am called Kira. It is the name your people can pronounce easily. Wu bowed slightly, unsure of proper alien etiquette. I'm Han Wu. It's nice to meet you. She smiled, and for a moment he almost forgot this was an arranged political marriage. Then she stepped closer, and her expression changed completely. Her smile remained for anyone watching, but her eyes became urgent and frightened. You are in danger, she whispered, so quietly he almost missed it. They watch, trust no one. Before Wu could respond, the door opened again. Ambassador Veltara entered, followed by several other Valerian officials. The ambassador was tall and imposing, with darker silver skin and golden eyes that seemed to see everything. Ah, the happy couple meets at last, Veltara said in heavily accented English. I trust you are both pleased with the arrangement. Kira immediately moved closer to Wu and took his arm. To observers, it looked like affection, but Wu could feel her trembling slightly. Very pleased, Kira said, her voice bright and cheerful, but her grip on his arm tightened like a warning. The ceremony took place in the main assembly hall, with representatives from both species watching. Cameras captured every moment for broadcast across 2 worlds. Wu went through the motions, speaking the vows he had memorized just hours before. The Valerian part of the ceremony involved touching foreheads. While Kira spoke in her native language, her words sounded beautiful, but when she pressed her forehead against his, she whispered again, they are not what they seem. The treaty is a lie. Please believe me. Wu's heart raced, but he kept his expression calm. Years of military training helped him hide his shock. When they separated, he managed to smile for the cameras. The reception afterward was a mix of human and Valerian customs. Earth dignity mingled with alien officials, everyone pretending this strange situation was perfectly normal. Wu noticed how Kira stayed close to him throughout the evening, always positioning herself between him and the other Valerians. During a quiet moment, Ambassador Veltara approached them. I hope you will both be very happy, he said. This union represents a new beginning for both our peoples. Thank you, Wu replied. We're honored to be part of such an important moment in history. Veltara's golden eyes studied them both carefully. Indeed, I am sure you will find married life enlightening. There is so much your species can learn from each other. After the ambassador moved away, Kira leaned against Wu as if tired from the long day. But her whispered words were anything but casual. He knows I warned you. We must be very careful now. As the evening ended, Wu walked with his new alien wife to the quarters they would share. His mind was spinning with questions and doubts. Had he just married someone trying to protect him, or was this some kind of elaborate trap? One thing was certain, his life had just become much more complicated than any tactical analysis had ever prepared him for. And somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice was telling him that Kira's warnings might be the most important intelligence he had ever received. The door to their new quarters slid shut behind them, and Wu realized that everything he thought he knew about first contact was about to change. Wu woke up to find Kira standing by the window, staring at the alien ships in the sky. She had not slept at all during their first night as husband and wife. Her silver skin seemed paler in the morning light. "Did you sleep?" he asked, sitting up in bed. She turned to him, and he saw fear in her starlight eyes. "Sleep is dangerous for me here. I must stay alert." Before he could ask what she meant, his communication device buzzed. It was his friend Park Soo from the Defense Corps. "Hey, married man," Soo said when Wu answered. "How does it feel to be the most famous human in the galaxy?" Strange, Wu replied honestly. "Listen, can you and Min come by later? I want you to meet Kira properly." "Sure thing, we'll bring lunch." After the call ended, Kira moved closer to him. "Who are these friends?" "Park Soo and Lee Min. We've served together for 5 years. They're good people." Something in her expression relaxed slightly. "Good people. Yes, we will need good people." That afternoon, Soo and Min arrived with food and curiosity. Both men were veteran soldiers who had fought alongside Wu in various conflicts. They were also his closest friends. "So this is the famous alien bride," Soo said with a grin. "You're even more beautiful than the news broadcasts showed." Kira smiled politely, but Wu noticed how she studied both men carefully. During lunch, she asked them many questions about their service records, their families, and their opinions about the alien treaty. "You really think this peace deal will work?" Min asked. "Some of the guys are worried the aliens might have hidden motives." Kira's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. "What kind of hidden motives?" "Oh, you know," Min waved his hand. "The usual conspiracy theories, that they're studying us for weaknesses, or planning to take over our resources." "Those are not conspiracy theories," Kira said quietly. The room went silent. Soo and Min exchanged glances with Wu. "What do you mean?" Soo asked carefully. Kira looked at Wu, then at his friends. She seemed to make a decision. "I can speak your language perfectly. I have been studying Earth for 3 years before we made contact." 3 years. Min's voice was sharp. "But first contact was only 2 months ago." "First official contact," Kira corrected. "We have been watching your world much longer, learning your languages, your customs, your military capabilities." Wu felt cold. "Why are you telling us this?" "Because you need to know the truth. The marriage was not just for diplomacy, it was to keep you away from important work." "What important work?" Soo demanded. "The Titan Defense Project," Kira said. "Your analysis of orbital defense systems was too accurate. It showed weaknesses in their plan." The 3 men stared at her. The Titan Defense Project was beyond classified. Even Min and Soo didn't know the details. "How do you know about that?" Wu asked. "Because I was ordered to study you specifically, to find ways to neutralize your strategic thinking without killing you. Marriage was the perfect solution. Keep you distracted and isolated." Min stood up abruptly. "This is insane. You're telling us the whole peace treaty is fake." "Not fake, but not what your leaders think it is." Kira's voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. "There are things coming that your people don't know about, bad things." That evening, after Soo and Min left with promises to stay alert and watch for unusual activity, Wu confronted his wife directly. "Tell me everything," he said. "No more hints and warnings. If there's really danger, I need to know what we're facing." Kira sat on their bed, looking smaller and more vulnerable than he had seen her before. "My real name is Vex Kira. I am an intelligence officer for the Valerian military. But the Valerians are not the real threat. Then who is? We serve a larger empire called the Dominion. The Valerians were conquered long ago, just like dozens of other species. Now we do their work because we have no choice." Wu sat beside her. "And this Dominion wants to conquer Earth." "Yes, but not just conquer. Earth is special. Your species. That shows qualities that most others lost after being conquered. Independence, creativity, the ability to fight even when losing. So why the peace treaty at all? Why not just attack?" "Because direct attack failed on other worlds like yours. Species that fight back are harder to control. Better to make them willing partners first. Lower their defenses. Make them dependent." Wu's mind raced through the implications. The technology transfers, the trade agreements, they're all designed to make us dependent on alien systems. "Yes, and once your defenses are tied to our technology, we can shut them down from space. We have to warn someone. General Kim or Admiral Nam or no." Kira grabbed his arm. "Some of your leaders are already compromised. The Dominion has ways of affecting minds, making people more agreeable to suggestions. How do we know who to trust? We watch, we test, we build our own network of people who are still thinking clearly." Over the next few days, Wu began to notice things he had missed before. General Kim seemed different somehow, more relaxed about security protocols, more willing to accept Valerian suggestions without question. Other officers were acting strangely, too. Colonel Yates, who had always been suspicious of aliens, now spoke enthusiastically about cooperation. Major Torres, known for her careful analysis, was rushing through important decisions, but some people seemed unchanged. Admiral Namdu still asked hard questions in meetings. Captain Hong Sil still double-checked every report. Wu's sister Hannah, who worked in communications, still complained about security gaps in the new alien communication systems. "We need to contact the ones who are still thinking clearly," Wu told Kira one night. "Build a list of people we can trust. It will be dangerous," she warned. "If the Dominion realizes I have told you the truth, they will act faster. The main invasion will come sooner. How much time do we have? Maybe 3 months. Maybe less, if they suspect resistance." Wu looked out at the alien ships hanging over his city. Somewhere up there, enemies were planning humanity's downfall. But they had made one mistake. They had given him an alien bride who chose to fight for Earth instead of the Dominion. "Then we better get started," he said. The next morning Wu received new orders. He was being reassigned to special diplomatic duties that would keep him away from all military planning. General Kim called it a honeymoon assignment, but Wu knew better now. The cage was closing around him, and through him, around all of humanity. The only question was whether they could break free before it was too late. 2 weeks into his forced honeymoon leave, Wu watched Kira work at their kitchen table. She had been busy every night, doing something with small devices that looked like pieces of jewelry. Her fingers moved with precise skill as she assembled tiny components. "What are you building?" he asked. "Bringing her tea evidence," she said without looking up. "Proof of what I have told you." She held up what looked like a small crystal pendant. This contained star maps, fleet movements, and communication logs. "Everything needed to show your leaders the truth about the Dominion." "Where did you get all this information?" "From my own body." Shit touched her temple. "Valerian intelligence officers have biological data storage. Information is stored in special cells that can be extracted and read by the right technology." Wu stared at her. "You're removing parts of your own memory, copying them. But yes, it causes pain. And once I do this, I cannot return to my old life. The Dominion will know I have betrayed them." Before he could respond, his communication device chimed. It was his sister Hannah. "Wu, I need to see you. Something strange is happening at the communication center. Can't it wait? I'm supposed to be on leave. This is about the aliens. Please, just come." An hour later, Wu and Kira met Hannah at a small cafe near the military base. His sister looked tired and worried. "I've been monitoring the alien communication systems like they asked me to," Hannah said, "but I found something they probably don't want us to know about." She showed them a datapad with signal analysis. "There are 2 different types of communications going to their ships. The official diplomatic channels we know about, and hidden transmissions on different frequencies." "What do the hidden transmissions say?" Kira asked. "I can't decode them completely, but I recognize some patterns. They look like military movement orders and supply requests." Kira studied the data carefully. "These are mobilization codes. They are preparing for large-scale operations." "How large?" Wu asked. "Fleet movements. Thousands of ships." Hannah looked between them. "Who are you really?" she asked Kira. "And don't tell me you're just a diplomatic bride." Kira looked at Wu, who nodded. "Tell her we need allies. I am intelligence officer for the Valerian Empire, but the Valerians are slaves to a larger power called the Dominion. They plan to conquer Earth, and I am here to help them do it." "Then why are you helping us?" Hannah demanded. "Because I believe your species might be the first to successfully resist the Dominion, but only if you act quickly and intelligently." Kira pulled out the crystal pendant she had been working on. "This contains proof of everything I have told you. Fleet positions, invasion plans, the truth about other worlds that have fallen to the Dominion." She activated the device, and holographic star maps appeared above the table. Wu saw dozens of solar systems marked in red. "Each red mark is a world that fell to the Dominion in the last 50 years, Kira explained. "The pattern is always the same: first contact, peace treaties, dependency, then conquest." "How many worlds?" Hannah whispered. 47 civilizations. "Some fought bravely, but they were not prepared for the scope of the threat." Wu studied the maps. "What makes you think Earth will be different?" "Your species shows unusual persistence. Most civilizations surrender when they realize the size of the Dominion fleet. But humans have a history of fighting against impossible odds. The Dominion studied your wars, your literature, your entertainment. They found something that worried them. Humans often win when they should lose, through tactics they call unpredictable." Hannah leaned forward. "So what's the plan? How do we fight an interstellar empire?" "First, we identify which of your leaders are still thinking clearly. The Dominion, who uses psychic influence technology to make people more compliant, not mind control, but strong suggestion." "How can we tell who's affected?" Wu asked. "Affected people become more agreeable to alien suggestions. They stop asking hard questions. They rush important decisions without proper analysis. We thought about General Kim and the others who had seemed different lately. We need to make a list. Over the next few hours, they worked together to identify potentially compromised officials and those who might still be trusted. The list of trustworthy people was shorter than Wu had hoped. Admiral Namdu is still clean, Hannah said. He's been asking lots of uncomfortable questions about the alien technology transfers. Captain Hong Sil too, Wu added. She's been complaining about security gaps in the new systems. And there are others in different branches of the military, Hannah said. I can reach out to people in communications who have noticed strange patterns. Kira looked serious. You must be very careful how you approach them. If the Dominion realizes we are building resistance, they will accelerate their timeline. How much time do we have? Hannah asked. Originally, maybe 6 months. But if they detect organized resistance, they could begin the invasion in weeks. Then we need to work fast, Wu said. But we also need to be smart about it. Kira nodded. There is something else you should know. Earth is not just another conquest for the Dominion. Your world has strategic value as a base for expanding into this entire galactic region. What does that mean? If Earth falls, the Dominion will use it as a staging ground to conquer dozens of other worlds. Your resistance is not just about saving humanity, it could save countless other species. Wu felt the weight of that responsibility. No pressure there. There is hope, Kira said. The Dominion has never faced a species that knew the truth before the invasion began. You have advantages that other worlds did not have, such as knowledge of their plans, understanding of their technology, and me. Hannah looked at Kira with new respect. You're risking everything to help us. I am risking everything to help myself, Kira replied. I have been a slave to the Dominion my entire life. I want to be free even if freedom means death. That night, as they planned their next moves, Wu realized his strange alien marriage had become something real. Not the romantic love of fairy tales, but the deep partnership of two people fighting for the same cause. Are you afraid? He asked Kira as they prepared for bed. Terrified, she admitted, but also hopeful. For the first time in my life I am choosing my own path instead of following orders. We're going to need more than hope, Wu said. Yes, we are going to need something humans are famous for. What's that? The ability to do impossible things when you have no other choice. Outside their window, the alien ships floated silently in the night sky. But now Wu knew they were not symbols of peace. They were the first wave of humanity's greatest challenge. The real war was about to begin. The abandoned subway tunnels smelled of rust and old water. Wu followed Hannah down the dark passage, their footsteps echoing off wet walls. Kira moved silently beside them, her enhanced senses alert for any danger. Are you sure about this meeting? Wu whispered to his sister. Choi Jin checked out. Hannah replied he's been tracking alien activity for weeks. His information matches what Kira told us. They reached a heavy metal door marked with old city maintenance symbols. Hannah knocked in a specific pattern. The door opened to reveal a young woman with short black hair and suspicious eyes. You're late, she said, motioning them inside. The room beyond was larger than expected, filled with improvised equipment and computer screens. A man in his 30s looked up from a workstation covered in electronic components. I'm Choi Jin, he said, standing to greet them. This is Song Yu, my partner in what you might call unauthorized research. What kind of research? Wu asked. The kind that asks why alien tourists need military-grade sensor equipment, Yura said, and why their peaceful exploration ships carry enough firepower to level cities. Jin activated a large display screen. We've been monitoring the Valerian ships since they arrived. Their energy signatures don't match anything we know about exploration or diplomatic vessels. The screen showed detailed scans of the 3 ships floating above the city. Red highlights marked weapon systems, shield generators, and launch bays. Those are warships, Kira said quietly. Designed for planetary assault. You know about military ships? Yura asked suspiciously. I know about many things, Kira replied, including the fact that you are right to be suspicious. Wu made a decision. She's Valerian intelligence, but she's helping us. Jin and Yura exchanged glances. That's either very good news or a very clever trap, Jin said. If it was a trap, you would already be dead, Kira said matter-of-factly. The Dominion does not waste time with elaborate deceptions when simple elimination works better. The what? Yura asked. For the next hour, Kira explained the truth about the Dominion Empire while Wu and Hannah shared what they had learned about compromised officials. Jin and Yura listened with growing alarm. So the peace treaty is just the first step in our conquest, Jin summarized. And some of our own leaders are being influenced to cooperate. Not all, Hannah said. Admiral Nemdu is still asking the right questions. So are others. We need to contact them, Yura said. Build a real resistance network. Carefully, Kira warned. The Dominion has ways of detecting organized opposition. If they realize Earth has learned the truth, they will begin the invasion immediately. How immediately? Jin asked. Days, not weeks. The group spent the rest of the meeting planning their next moves. Jin and Yura would continue monitoring alien activities and identifying potential allies. Hannah would use her position in communications to watch for signs of military mobilization. Wu and Kira would work on documenting proof that could convince the uncompromised leadership. 2 days later, they received their first success. Admiral Namdu agreed to a secret meeting after Hannah presented him with evidence of hidden alien communications. The admiral was a short, tough woman who had risen through the ranks by asking hard questions and accepting hard truths. She listened to their presentation without interruption. "You're telling me that our newest allies are actually advanced scouts for an invasion force," she said when they finished. "Yes, ma'am," Wu replied. "And you," she looked at Kira, "are a defector from this alien empire. I am someone who chooses to fight for freedom instead of serving slavery," Kira said. Admiral Nam studied the evidence they had presented. Star maps, communication intercepts, and technical analysis of the alien ships. "This is either the most important intelligence briefing in human history, or the most elaborate enemy deception I've ever seen." "How can we prove it's real?" Wu asked. "By testing it. If your information is accurate, we should be able to predict alien behavior." Over the following weeks, their predictions proved correct again and again. The admiral's tests revealed that General Kim and several other officials were indeed making decisions that favored alien interests over human security. "We have a problem," Admiral Nam told them during one meeting. "Even with proof, we can't just arrest everyone who's been influenced. We don't have evidence of actual treason, just poor judgment. And if we move too openly, the invasion begins early," Kira added. "So what do we do?" Jin asked. "We prepare for war while pretending to prepare for peace," the admiral said. "We build our own network while they build theirs." The resistance grew carefully. Captain Hong Sil brought in trusted officers from her unit. A scientist named Dr. Park Moran joined after noticing that alien technology transfers were designed to create dependency rather than genuine cooperation. But their biggest breakthrough came when they discovered they weren't the only resistance group. "There are others," Yura reported after returning from a scouting mission. "Military units, civilian groups, even some government officials who have started asking questions." "How many others?" Admiral Nam asked. "Hard to say. Maybe hundreds of people across different organizations. We need to coordinate without revealing ourselves," the admiral said. "If the aliens detect a unified resistance, we're finished." Kira had an idea. "There may be others like me, Valerians who want to break free from Dominion control. How can we find them?" Wu asked. "By watching for signs of resistance within their own ranks. Not all Valerians support this conquest. Some were taken from their homes just like the species before them." Indeed, over the next few days, they noticed subtle signs of tension among the Valerian delegation. 2 officers seemed to avoid certain meetings. A technician was asking unusual questions about human culture and history. "If we can identify potential allies among the aliens themselves," Admiral Nam said, "we might have a real chance." But their activities had not gone completely unnoticed. One evening, as Wu and Kira returned to their quarters, they found signs that someone had searched their rooms. "They know," Kira said, examining disturbed items that would be invisible to human eyes. "How much do they know?" Wu asked. "Enough to be suspicious. Not enough to act yet." That night, Kira made a difficult decision. "I must contact others of my kind who might help us. But doing so will reveal my location to Dominion intelligence. Is that worth the risk? If I can convince even one Valerian ship captain to join us, it could change everything. Your species will need every advantage when the real fleet arrives. When will that be?" Kira looked out at the ships in the sky. "Soon the advance force is almost finished with their preparations. I estimate 3 weeks, maybe less. Then we better move fast." The next day, Admiral Nam called an emergency meeting. Intelligence reports suggest unusual activity around the alien ships. They're moving supplies and personnel in patterns that look like preparation for military action. "It's starting," Kira said. "The final phase before invasion." "What's our status?" the admiral asked. "We have maybe 50 confirmed allies in key positions," Yura reported, "plus unknown numbers in other resistance cells." 50 people against an interstellar empire, Jin said. "I've heard of worse odds." "No, you haven't," Admiral Nom said grimly. "But we work with what we have." Wu looked around the room at their small group of conspirators. Humans and 1 alien, all risking everything to fight for Earth's freedom. "What's the plan?" he asked. "We prepare for the impossible," the admiral said, "and hope that impossible is something humans do well." Outside, the alien ships continued their silent watch over the city. But now Wu knew they were not just watching. They were waiting for the signal to begin humanity's conquest. The countdown had begun. The emergency signal came at 3 in the morning. Wu's communication device buzzed with the code that meant immediate danger. He and Kira dressed quickly and made their way to the emergency meeting point in the old subway tunnels. When they arrived, they found chaos. Jin was bandaging a wound on Yura's arm while Admiral Nam paced angrily in the small space. "What happened?" Wu asked. "We were betrayed," Yura said, through gritted teeth. "Someone gave them our location at the warehouse. The whole northern cell was captured, Jin added. 12 people, including Captain Hong. Admiral Nam stopped pacing. Dr. Lim Hua was with them when they were taken, but she walked away free. Wu felt sick. Dr. Lim had been one of their most trusted allies, a scientist who had provided crucial analysis of alien technology. Are you sure? Hannah asked. I saw it myself, Ura said. The aliens surrounded the warehouse. Everyone inside was captured except Dr. Lim. She just walked out the front door like nothing happened. How long has she been feeding them information? Admiral Nam asked. Hard to say, Jin replied, but she knew about most of our operations. Kira had been silent during this exchange, but now she spoke up. This is worse than simple betrayal. If Dr. Lim was working for the Dominion, they know exactly how much we know, which means, Wu asked. The invasion timeline just accelerated, dramatically, maybe days instead of weeks. Admiral Nam activated her secure communication device. I need to contact our allies immediately. If we're going to act, it has to be now. But before she could connect, the device crackled with an incoming emergency broadcast. The voice was General Kim, speaking to all military personnel. All units are to report to base immediately. We have received intelligence about a terrorist plot involving stolen alien technology. Anyone with information about unauthorized resistance activities should report to military police immediately. The group stared at each other in the dim tunnel light. They're turning the entire military against us, Hannah whispered. Not all of it, Admiral Nam said, but enough to make our job much harder. Over the next few hours, they received more bad news. Several resistance members had been arrested on various charges. Others had gone into hiding. Their carefully built network was falling apart. We need to rescue the captured people, Wu said. They know too much about our plans. It's a trap, Kira warned. They want us to attempt a rescue. It will give them an excuse to eliminate the entire resistance. So we just abandon them. We use the situation to our advantage. Kira activated a small device she had been carrying. It projected a holographic map of the city, showing the locations of all 3 alien ships. The captured resistance members are being held on the central command ship. But that ship is also where the Dominion invasion commander is located. So if we can get aboard during a rescue attempt, we might be able to strike at their leadership. Admiral Nam studied the map. That's suicide. Even if we could get aboard, we'd never get back out. Getting back out is not the point, Kira said quietly. The point is to hurt them enough that the invasion fails. You're talking about a sacrifice mission. I am talking about the only chance Earth has. Before anyone could respond, Jin's monitoring equipment detected new activity from the alien ships. Energy readings were spiking across all 3 vessels. They're powering up their main systems, Jin reported. All of them. Final preparations, Kira said. The invasion begins within hours. Admiral Nam made a command decision. We split up. Half of us work on the rescue mission. The other half focuses on getting word to the uncompromised military units. I'm going after the command ship, Kira. When else, it's what I was trained for. Not alone, Wu said. We're partners, remember. Kira looked at him with an expression he had never seen before, something between gratitude and sorrow. If we do this, you need to understand what you're volunteering for. I am not just intelligence officer. I am part of an elite warrior caste. The modifications to my body make me extremely dangerous in combat. What kind of modifications? Enhanced strength, speed, reflexes, improved healing, built-in weapons, systems, built-in weapons. Kira held up her hand. Suddenly, razor-sharp claws extended from her fingertips. Her eyes began to glow with a bright blue light. The Dominion does not create just spies. They create living weapons. I have killed many people. Ooh, I will kill many more before this is over. The others stared at her transformed appearance. She looked beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Why didn't you tell us this before? Admiral Nom asked. Because I hoped it would not be necessary. I wanted to be just Kira, the defector who helped with intelligence. But the situation has changed. Changed how? The Dominion commander aboard that ship is War Leader Velthanis. He was my trainer and superior officer. He knows all my capabilities and weaknesses. Then why go after him? Wu asked. Because he is the only one who can call off the invasion. If the war leader dies, the invasion force will wait for new orders from the Dominion homeworld. That could give Earth months to prepare. And if he doesn't die, then the invasion begins tomorrow, and your species has maybe a 10% chance of survival. The weight of those odds settled over the group. Everything they had worked for came down to this desperate mission. How do we get aboard their ship? Yura asked. During the rescue attempt, security will be focused on the holding areas. I can get us to the command center, but the fight with Velthanis will be extremely dangerous. For you or for him? Jin asked. For everyone, war leaders do not die as a lead, and when they fight they tend to destroy everything around them. Admiral Nam was already making plans. The rescue team will create maximum chaos to draw attention. Meanwhile, you two get to the command center. What about the other ships? Hannah asked. Without central command, they'll retreat to wait for orders. Standard Dominion protocol. And if this doesn't work, then we hope the rest of humanity is as stubborn as we are. As they prepared to leave the tunnel, Kira pulled Wu aside. "There is something else you need to know. The reason I was chosen to marry you was not just your tactical skills." "What do you mean?" "The Dominion studies species psychology very carefully. They identified you as someone who could adapt to alien contact and form genuine relationships across species barriers. So they were right. What started as a political arrangement became something real that was not supposed to happen." Wu realized what she was saying. "You weren't supposed to actually care about me. I wasn't supposed to care about anything, but humans have this effect on other species. You make us remember what we lost when we were conquered. What did you lose? Hope, the belief that tomorrow could be better than today." Outside the tunnel, the alien ships hummed with increased activity. The invasion countdown had begun. "Ready?" Kira asked, her claws retracting as her eyes returned to normal. "No," Wu replied honestly. "But let's do it anyway." "That," Kira said with a smile, "is the most human thing you could have said." The rescue mission began at dawn. Admiral Nam led the diversionary attack on the alien ship's docking bay while Wu and Kira used stolen maintenance codes to enter through a service tunnel. Inside the ship, the corridors hummed with alien technology. The walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own, and strange symbols glowed along the ceiling. Kira moved through the passages with deadly grace, avoiding security sensors she knew by heart. "The command center is 3 levels up," she whispered, as they reached a transport tube. "But Velthanis will know I'm coming, how he can sense other enhanced Valerians. It's part of our design." They rode the transport tube in tense silence. When the doors opened, they found themselves face to face with a squad of Valerian soldiers. The fight was over in seconds. Kira moved like liquid lightning, her claws tearing through armor and weapons. Her enhanced speed made her almost impossible to target. But Wu could see the effort was draining her. "Are you okay?" he asked as they stepped over the fallen soldiers. "Combat modifications consume a lot of energy. I cannot maintain this for long." They reached the command center to find it strangely quiet. The massive circular room was filled with holographic displays showing Earth's military installations and population centers, but only one figure stood in the center. War leader Velthanis was enormous, even for a Valerian. His silver skin was marked with scars from countless battles, and his golden eyes held the cold intelligence of a predator. When he spoke, his voice echoed through the chamber of Kira. "I wondered when you would come." "Hello, teacher," Kira replied, her own voice steady despite the circumstances. "You have caused considerable trouble, but it ends now. The only thing ending is your invasion." Velthanis laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Do you think killing me will stop the Dominion? I am one commander among thousands." "But you are the only one here," Kira replied, "and without you, this invasion fails perhaps, but you will not survive to see it." The war leader's transformation was terrifying to watch. His already massive form grew larger as hidden armor plates emerged from beneath his skin. Weapon systems activated along his arms and his eyes blazed with deadly energy. "Wu, get to the communication console," Kira ordered without taking her eyes off her former commander. "Send the evidence to Admiral Nome, all of it." "What about you?" "I will handle this." The battle between the two enhanced Valerians shook the entire command center. They moved faster than human eyes could follow, their claws creating sparks as they clashed. Velthanis was larger and stronger, but Kira was faster and more desperate. While they fought, Wu worked frantically at the alien communication system. Using codes Kira had taught him, he accessed the ship's database and began transmitting everything to Earth's military networks. Star maps showing Dominion fleet positions, evidence of other conquered worlds, technical specifications for alien weapons and defenses. Most importantly, proof that the peace treaty was a deception designed to lower Earth's guard. "Transmission complete," he called out. At that moment, Kira's scream of pain filled the chamber. Velthanis had managed to wound her badly, his claws raking across her side. Silver blood pooled on the deck as she staggered backward. "You were always too sentimental," the war leader said. "It made you weak." "No," Kira gasped. "It made me strong." She activated a device hidden in her clothing. Suddenly, every screen in the command center lit up with the same message, broadcast on all frequencies. "People of Earth, my name is Kira. I am a Valerian intelligence officer, and I bring you the truth about first contact." The message played across the ship's communication system. But more importantly, it was being transmitted to every receiver. On Earth, Kira's image appeared on screens in homes, offices, and military installations around the world. "The peace treaty is a lie. The Valerians serve a larger empire that conquers worlds through deception. Your leaders have been influenced to make decisions that serve alien interests. The real invasion begins today." Velthanis roared in fury and lunged at the communication console, but Kira intercepted him. Despite her wounds, she fought with renewed strength. "But there is hope," her recorded message continued. "Humanity has something the Dominion has never faced before. The will to fight, even when victory seems impossible. Do not surrender. Do not give up. Show them what humans do when their freedom is threatened." The transmission ended, but its effect was immediate. Through the ship's sensors, Wu could see chaos erupting across the planet below. Military units that had been standing down were suddenly mobilizing. Defense systems that had been powered down were coming back online. "What have you done?" Velthanis demanded, turning away from his fight with Kira. "I gave humanity the one thing it needed most," she replied, "the truth." Alarms began sounding throughout the ship. The other two Valerian vessels were requesting orders as Earth's defense forces opened fire on them, without clear commands from the war leader. The ship captains were following standard Dominion protocol and preparing to retreat. "You have destroyed everything," Velthanis snarled. "No, I have saved everything." The final confrontation was brief but decisive. Kira used the last of her enhanced abilities to overload the ship's power systems, while engaging the war leader in close combat. The resulting explosion tore through the command center. When the smoke cleared, Velthanis lay motionless. Kira was badly injured but alive. And outside, the two remaining alien ships were already beginning their retreat to orbit. "Is it over?" Wu asked, helping Kira to her feet. "This part is over. But the real fight is just beginning." Through the damaged viewports they could see Earth's defense fleet rising to meet the retreating alien ships. What had been intended as humanity's surrender was becoming humanity's declaration of war. 6 months later, Wu stood in the same spot where the alien ships had once floated over the city. But now the sky was filled with human vessels, part of the growing fleet that protected Earth and its new allies. The war with the Dominion Empire continued across dozens of star systems, but humanity was no longer fighting alone. Kira's broadcast had inspired rebellions on conquered worlds throughout the galaxy. The Dominion found itself facing something it had never encountered before, a coordinated resistance of multiple species working together. Kira, recovered from her injuries but bearing permanent scars from her battle with Velthanis, stood beside him. She wore the uniform of Earth's new interstellar defense force, serving as an advisor on alien military tactics. "Any regrets?" Wu asked her. "About defecting, about fighting the Dominion, about marrying you, any of it?" She smiled, the expression transforming her scarred face. "The marriage was supposed to be political theater, a way to control you and neutralize your strategic thinking. And now it's the best decision I ever made, even if I didn't make it freely at first." In the distance, construction crews were working on the new orbital defense platforms. Earth was no longer the naive world that had welcomed alien visitors with open arms. It had become the center of a growing alliance of free worlds, all united in their determination to resist the Dominion. "Do you think we can win?" Wu asked. "I think humans have a talent for doing impossible things, and now they're teaching that talent to other species." A communication alert interrupted their conversation. Admiral Nam's voice came through Wu's device. "All senior staff to the briefing room. We've received a message from the Terran resistance fleet in the Vega system. They're ready to begin the counteroffensive." As they walked toward the command center, Kira took Wu's hand. "Are you ready for this?" "For what?" "The counteroffensive for the wedding." Wu stopped walking. "What wedding?" "Our real wedding. The one where we choose each other instead of being chosen for each other. I believe the human custom is to ask properly this time." She knelt on one knee in the corridor, drawing stares from passing personnel. "Han Wu, will you marry me? Not for politics or diplomacy or tactical advantage, but because I love you and want to spend whatever time we have fighting beside you." Wu looked down at his alien wife, who had given up everything to save his world and found love in the process. Around them, humans and aliens worked together to build defenses against an empire that had once seemed unstoppable. "Yes," he said, pulling her to her feet. "But let's win this war first." "Deal," Kira said, kissing him as alarms sounded for the next mission briefing. In the end, the arranged marriage that was supposed to guarantee Earth's surrender had become the foundation of the galaxy's greatest resistance movement. And sometimes, late at night when the fighting was done, Wu still marveled at how an alien bride's whispered warnings had changed the fate of entire civilizations. The war continued, but humanity was no longer in danger. They had become the danger to those who would enslave free worlds. And it all started with a bride who chose love over orders.